You can upgrade to Tesla's Enhanced Autopilot product for an additional $6,000. You can do that at the time of purchasing the vehicle, or you can upgrade afterwards through the Tesla app. Now the question is the cost, that $6,000 cost for upgrading to Enhanced Autopilot, worth it? I'm going to tell you it's not, and we'll get into that throughout this video here. Now at the time of purchasing my rear-wheel drive Model 3, I decided to upgrade to Enhanced Autopilot, so I paid that $6,000 cost. Over the course of the last 6 months, I've used Navigate on Autopilot, Auto Lane Change through my daily commute, through normal day-to-day driving, and on a long-distance road trip. And I can tell you the value that I've gotten out of it isn't really worth that $6,000 cost. I've done a number of different videos on Enhanced Autopilot. I've explained the differences between Enhanced and Basic Autopilot, and I've even showed how it works as part of a drive on my morning commute. So you can check those out. I'll leave a link down in the description below, and you can find them on my channel. But what we're going to talk to in this video is my logic around why it's not worth that added cost. Now let's review what you get with Enhanced Autopilot. And if you want to check out the video, I've explained the differences, and I'll leave a link here at the top of the screen for that. But Enhanced Autopilot really gives you 5 different features. It gives you the ability to navigate on autopilot when you are on the highway, gives you auto lane change, and 3 other features which include auto park, summon, and smart summon. So here's my experience over the last 6 months. And I'll list them in terms of greatest value to least value. Auto lane change. Now this is the one feature I think I get the most value out of. Auto lane change will change lanes for you while keeping autopilot engaged. Now that's a huge difference over basic autopilot, because as soon as you try to change lanes with basic autopilot, autopilot disengages. With Enhanced Autopilot, if you're coming up on a vehicle, it's moving too slow, you turn on your turn signal, autopilot will check to make sure there's no traffic in the lane next to you and change lanes for you. Now you might be thinking that seems pretty lame. And while on the surface it might not seem like a lot, just having that ability to cruise while you're on autopilot and being able to activate your turn signal and letting the car change lanes for you, it's a nice little feature. Is it worth that $6,000 cost? Yeah, definitely not. But it's the one thing that I think I get the most value out of. Second on the list is Navigate on Autopilot. Now this is one I don't use a lot of unless I'm doing a road trip or something, especially in an area that I may not be familiar with. Navigate on Autopilot will let you enter a destination on your Tesla navigation system, and once you're on the highway, it will navigate you to that destination and will use the features in auto lane change to ensure that you're in the correct lane if you need to get off on a certain exit or follow the appropriate highway. That's one of the key features that intrigued me about the Enhanced Autopilot product, and I thought I would use it quite a bit, but in reality, I'm really not. I use it when I'm doing road trips or I'm in an area that I may not be familiar with. And while it seems like it might have some value, I'm finding that I really don't use it a lot, especially because on my daily rides, I know where I'm going. I know how to avoid traffic if traffic's bad. I know the appropriate routes to take. I don't need to be tied down to navigate on autopilot, and it's kind of one-dimensional view as to it knows I only need to go in this certain area. Now I've used it quite a bit for my extended road trips. We've done a road trip to South Carolina. We've done another one to Orlando, Florida. And I have used it, and it helps me, especially if I'm not really focused on where I'm going or I'm in an area that I may not be familiar with. It helps me ensure I'm in the right lane to take such and such a highway or get off on whatever exit I need to get off on. Now there's 3 other features included in Enhanced Autopilot, and they're all kind of gimmicky. You get Auto Park, Summon, and Smart Summon. Now, unfortunately, with my Tesla, those 3 features are not available to me because they leverage the functionality in the ultrasonic sensors, and ultrasonic sensors are not included on my 2023 Model 3. So in my case, 60% of the features that I purchased with Enhanced Autopilot, Auto Park, Summon, and Smart Summon, I haven't even been able to use because they're not enabled for me. so I can't even review them for you here. So of the two features that I do have, Navigate on Autopilot and Auto Lane Change, while they work pretty well, at least for the most part, I find that I don't use them on my day-to-day drives because they just don't work well for me in heavy traffic. And most of my driving right now is in rush hour traffic in the morning and evening on my way to and from work. Where they do seem to work well for me is when I'm in areas that don't have a lot of traffic, such as taking extended road trips. Unfortunately, not well enough to justify a $6,000 cost. So is Enhanced Autopilot worth the $6,000 cost? I'd say absolutely not. Save your money. Now, if you've got a newer vehicle, a 2023 vehicle or a Model 3 or a Model Y that was produced or built in October 2022 or later, you don't have the ultrasonic sensors and you don't have 60% of the features in Enhanced Autopilot. So why would you pay for a product that is supposed to have 5 features but only has 2 available to you? It's just not worth it. So you might be thinking, okay, Craig, why did you buy it? Why did you buy a product that only had 2 of the 5 features available? Well, to be honest, at the time that I ordered my Model 3, which was in the summer of 2022, ultrasonic sensors were still part of that vehicle. They weren't removed until October-ish 2022. And at the time, Tesla was stating, we're going to temporarily disable those 3 features. But stay with us here because Tesla Vision is going to be better and it's going to replace the functionality that relied on the ultrasonic sensors. Well, now they've started to do that. They just recently rolled out Tesla Vision's Park Assist feature, which is using the cameras to help replace some of that functionality that was in the ultrasonic sensors, but they're not fully there yet. So until they get there, to me, it's not worth that $6,000 cost. Now, if you do happen to have the ultrasonic sensors, you've got a vehicle that was produced prior to October 2022, you will have those 5 features available to you. You'll have Navigate on Autopilot, Auto Lane Change, as well as Auto Park Summon and Smart Summon. Now, unfortunately, especially when it comes to Smart Summon, it's really gimmicky, and I'm not sure if you would ever really use it in a real-world use case. We upgraded my wife's Model 3 to full self-driving for a month when we took it to Florida. Now, before we canceled that service after a month, we took it to an empty parking lot to try out Smart Summon. We just wanted to see how it worked. And it was a miserable failure. It could not navigate around this empty parking lot to us. I don't think I would ever use it or trust it in a real world situation in a parking lot that was full of cars. So what about in the future? So Tesla has just recently merged their code stacks for full self-driving and autopilot. And it's being tested by the full self-driving beta users right now. Now, what this means is autopilot will now be leveraging the technology in full self-driving as part of its autopilot and enhanced autopilot features while on the highway. Now, my guess is at some point, enhanced autopilot and autopilot will be able to leverage that technology, assuming Tesla rolls that out to the standard autopilot or the upgraded enhanced autopilot users. These technology changes should provide some enhanced functionality and benefit to the autopilot and enhanced autopilot user base. Will it be worth the upgrade cost when that happens? That remains to be seen, so we'll see. I would personally save your money, especially if you don't have the ultrasonic sensors. It is just not worth $6,000 at this point in time. I don't know if it will ever be, but for now, it's not worth the $6,000. You can always upgrade down the road. You don't need to purchase Enhanced Autopilot at the time of purchasing the vehicle. You can upgrade at any time through the Tesla app. You don't have the ability, at least right now, to subscribe on a monthly basis like you can with full self-driving. But if down the road, the features and the benefits for Enhanced Autopilot improve greatly, you can spend the $6,000 and upgrade at that time. Now, there's always the risk that Tesla will raise the cost of Enhanced Autopilot like they've been doing with full self-driving. So by the time some of these additional features are rolled out, that $6,000 cost could be considerably more. That is about it. Save your money. It's not worth it at this point in time. Hope you guys found this helpful, and we will see you in the next video.